Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling IELTS Writing Task 2, which is the essay part of the writing test. We will break it down step by step so it's much easier to manage. We will start by looking at what the examiners are looking for, things like grammar, coherence, vocabulary, and how well you answer the question. I will show you some simple strategies to keep your essay organized and make sure you're checking all these boxes. Then we will go over different essay types like analytical and debatable topics and talk about how to approach each one. Plus, I will share some tips on writing clear topic sentences, adding strong support for your ideas, and crafting a solid conclusion. By the end of this, you will feel more confident and ready to handle any task 2 question that comes your way. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the writing strategies, here's a quick tip to help you stay updated on IELTS questions. Check out howtodoielts.com. Just type recent essay topic into the search bar. You will find a list of current questions, and it's a great way to practice with real topics and see what kinds of questions you might face. For writing task 2, in both the IELTS general and academic test, you will need to write an essay. This essay will usually be one of the two types, analytical or debatable. Analytical essays ask you to break down and explain a topic, while debatable essay present you an issue that you will need to discuss from different viewpoints. Alright, here's the deal with IELTS Task 2. Your essay need to be at least 250 words. If it's too short, your score will take a hit. There's no limit on how much you can write, but remember, you have got only 40 minutes to finish. So, aim to be clear, get your points across, and keep an eye on the clock. No matter what type of essay you are writing, whether it's analytical or debatable, the basic structure stays the same. You will need three main parts: an introduction, a body paragraph, and a conclusion. Here's the twist. While the body paragraphs are pretty similar for both the essay types, the introduction and conclusion will change a bit depending on whether you are analyzing something or taking a stand on an issue. Here's how we would set up an analytical essay like this one, about why people don't know their neighbors anymore. We start with a general statement that introduces a broad idea, something that sets up the mood for the topic. For example, we could say, in today's busy world, people are surrounded by others. Nevertheless, they often feel a sense of isolation. Using nevertheless here nicely connects two contrasting ideas, showing the complexity of modern life. Next, we narrow it down to our main topic. So, we might add, one effect of this isolation is that people barely know their neighbors anymore. Now, we are drawing attention directly to the issue we will discuss. Then, we wrap it up with the thesis statement, which tells the reader what our essay will focus on. We could say something like, this essay will explore the reasons behind this decline in neighborhood connections, examine its effect on communities, and suggest ways to strengthen ties among the residents. So, putting it all together, our introduction might look like this. In today's busy world, people are surrounded by others. Nevertheless, they often feel a sense of isolation. One effect of this isolation is that people barely know their neighbors anymore. This essay will explore the reasons behind this decline in neighborhood connections, examine its effect on communities, and suggest ways to strengthen these ties among residents. Using a word like nevertheless here shows the contrast smoothly and adds that bit of advanced vocabulary to make the introduction feel more polished and formal. Let's talk about how to introduce a debatable topic in Task 2. The goal in your introduction is to clearly set up the debate without jumping into any arguments just yet. We want to do three things here: introduce the debate, mention both sides, and wrap up with a thesis statement. First, let's start by rephrasing the topic in our own word. We don't want to copy the question directly. Instead, we can set the scene. So, for a topic like this one about tourism's impact on culture, we might start with, whether tourism has more benefits than drawbacks is a matter of controversy. This gives a hint about what we are discussing without repeating the question exactly. Next, let's introduce the two sides of the argument. We want to show both perspectives without choosing a side yet. Here's a simple way to do it. On the one hand, there is a large group of people who think that the local community and its culture can be benefited from tourism. On the other hand, there is a formidable minority who perceive otherwise. This sentence tells the reader about the opposing views in a clear, balanced way. Finally, we need to add a thesis statement. This part summarizes what our essay will cover, including both sides and our opinion. So, we could say, this essay endeavors to highlight the pros and cons of tourism besides giving a personal perspective. This wraps up the introduction nicely by hinting at the positive and negative sides we will discuss and lets the reader know that we will also be sharing our own opinion. So, altogether, our introduction might look like this. Whether tourism has more benefits than drawbacks is a matter of controversy. On the one hand, there is a large group of people who think that the local community and its culture can be benefited from tourism. On the other hand, there is a formidable minority who perceives otherwise. This essay endeavors to highlight the pros and cons of tourism besides giving a personal perspective. This structure gives us a clear, neutral opinion that sets up both sides of the debate and leads smoothly into the body of the essay. Now, let's dive into the body paragraph. Whether you are writing an analytical essay or a debatable one, the basic structure for each body paragraph is the same. Here's the pattern we will follow. Start with a topic sentence, then add supporting ideas, and finish up with details for each of those ideas. Step 1. The topic sentence. Think of the topic sentence as the main idea of your paragraph. It introduces what you are about to discuss in a straightforward way. The topic sentence usually includes the main point from the question. This is called the topic, plus a controlling idea like causes, reasons, or factors. For example, if the essay is about why people don't know their neighbors anymore, a good topic sentence could be something like, one reason people don't interact with their neighbors is due to the rise of digital communication. In step 2, we'll be adding supporting ideas. Once you have your topic sentence, it's time to bring in some supporting ideas. These will back up the main point in your topic sentence. Think of them as your why or how. For instance, you could add, with social media and messaging apps, people often stay connected with friends and family online rather than engaging with those around them. This provides the reasoning behind your main point. Now, in step 3, we will add details for each idea. After stating each supporting idea, you will add details to make them more convincing. Details can include facts, description, or even a brief personal experience. For example, you might say, for instance, I often see people spending time on their phones even in common spaces like parks or lobbies, limiting face-to-face interactions. Just remember, if you are including your personal experience, keep it short. One or two sentences is plenty. It's not about you, so don't spend too much time here. For the second body paragraph, we will follow the same structure, but this time we focus on effects, consequences, or suggestions. So, if the first paragraph was about the causes of people not interacting with neighbors, this paragraph could discuss the impact of this on communities or suggest some ways to encourage neighborly connection. For debatable essay, we have to balance both sides. When writing a debatable essay, remember that you are aiming to discuss both sides of the argument. Start by supporting the side you agree with, using at least 3 solid examples to show why your opinion is the stronger one. For the opposing side, include fewer points. Say 2 to 3 reasons why some people might support this side, but keep it shorter and less detailed than the side you are supporting. In summary, for each body paragraph, follow this pattern. Topic sentence, introduce the main idea, supporting ideas, explain why or how this point is appropriate, and then add details. Add facts, description, or a brief example. This structure keeps your paragraph clear, logical, and on track. Following these steps will give your body paragraph a smooth, organized flow that's easy to read and understand. Next is conclusion for an analytical essay. When writing the conclusion of an analytical essay, your main goal is to restate or paraphrase the main idea that you discussed in the introduction. The main idea or thesis statement is something you have already introduced at the end of the introduction and in the topic sentence of your body paragraph. So, when you come to the conclusion, make sure you use synonyms to express the same point in a fresh way. For example, if your introduction thesis was, "This essay aims to examine the causes of environmental pollution and suggest measures to reduce it," you could paraphrase it in the conclusion like, "In summary, this essay has explored the reasons behind pollution and proposed several steps to mitigate its negative effect." The idea is the same, but the words are different to avoid repetition. Now, for a debatable essay, your conclusion is where you weigh both sides of the argument and then state your opinion. This is important because in a debatable essay, you need to show that you have considered both sides fairly before reaching a final judgment. Start your conclusion with a linking phrase to signal that you are wrapping up. For example, it is evident from the preceding analysis that the topic of tourism is a highly debatable one. There are strong arguments on both sides of the fence. You want to acknowledge both viewpoints first before giving your final opinion. Then you can continue with something like, "However, I believe that the advantages of tourism by far outweigh its disadvantages for local communities and culture. Hence, I strongly agree that tourism is beneficial." Opinion placement in debatable essay. You can express your opinion at different points in the essay. If you mention your opinion at the beginning of the essay, it means you are taking a unidirectional approach. In this case, you would write about the side that you support throughout the body paragraph. However, it's better to save your opinion for the end of the conclusion. This way, your conclusion is more bidirectional, meaning you can mention both sides before giving your final statement. For example, if you want to maintain a bidirectional conclusion, you could say, "On the one hand, many argue that tourism helps preserve cultural heritage and boost the local community. On the other hand, some believe it can lead to the destruction of cultural values. After considering both sides, I strongly feel that the positive impacts of tourism outweigh the negatives." Now, the key tips for writing a conclusion is restate your thesis. Use synonyms or paraphrasing to bring your main idea back, but don't repeat the exact sentence. For analytical essay, summarize your key points without adding new information. Simply wrap up what you have already discussed. For debatable essay, acknowledge both perspectives before clearly stating your opinion. This is your chance to show the examiner that you have considered both sides fairly. Using a linking word to begin your conclusion. This helps to signal that you are wrapping up your argument. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Keep practicing and good luck with your IELTS preparation.